a week ago I picked up this 2010 Lincoln MKX. It's a high miles car, but we're going to be using it on the road, so I wanted to install a radar detector. We're going to go through that now as we hardwire it. As it turned out, this may be one of the easier cars to hardwire a detector in. The detector I'll be using is an Escort S75G, which is pretty much the same as the old Escort 9500 IX. Same features, same controls, pretty much the same case. They've just changed their line, and they've dropped this as a lower priced model now, which it was nice saving a couple pennies on it, since I've found the 9500 to be a very dependable detector with good range and dependability. So that's what we're doing, and whatever detector you might be using, get your cables and mounts to fit that particular detector. I will be using a radar mount. This is the Escort mirror mount they have. It's made specifically for Escort. They have it for Valentine and other detectors, so make sure you order the one for your car. It clamps onto the mirror stem and will fit most mirrors, unless you have a very short stem like you can find on a Porsche. This should work fine for you. The company's in Las Vegas. You can find the product on eBay, on Amazon. I also found the detector on Amazon, and they make a very lovely product. It's machined very nicely. It's solid. I did use a little Loctite in several of the screws on it to keep them from coming loose when the car is in motion. And I've had very good luck with these. They're very adjustable and very solid. The cable I'm going to be using is also by Radamount out of Las Vegas. This is an RJ11 mirror wire for the Escort detector. Make sure you order the proper cable for your detector, or you will have problems. So they make them for Valentine and other detectors as well. It makes life very easy. On one end, the connector has the connector for the radar detector. On the other end, it has needle ends that you simply push into the back of the connector to get your electrical connection. So there's no cutting or splicing. You can then tape it up and zip tie it to take the pressure off the line so things don't fall apart on you. Hopefully this will turn out to be a fairly easy install. The cable is right there. I don't have to remove any body panels. There's a connector that plugs into the mirror. There's a tab on top that will allow me to pull it out. 7 wires to pick from, 1 black, and I'm hoping the black will be the ground wire. That seems to be the opinion of one of the guys on the forum, and the positive is probably one of the 2 wires next to it. If that's the case, this should be quick and simple, and we'll be back in a second as we check the voltages. As it turned out, pin 1 was the plus 12, the black on pin 3 was the negative. I just had to push the contacts in to the back. I will secure it to make sure they stay in place. I did put a gentle bend in the probe so that it will seat snugly in the socket. And now we have an ignition controlled 12 volt line, and we'll turn on the ignition. And now there's our passport. And the passport comes on with the ignition. And it should go off with the ignition. Sorry, I have to hand hold this. There's not a lot of room in here for a... it goes off and on with the ignition now. So now we'll neaten it up. We'll show you what that looks like. And then we'll put on the mirror mount and show you how that works. Now our mirror's back together. I put some electrical tape around the wires to hold the red and black from the tap in place. I then used 2 zip ties to take the strain off it and connect it to the harness, and that should do the trick. You know, nobody sees it, it's behind the mirror, it's not unsightly, and now we put the mirror mount on. Our install is done. We have our radar detector wired into the harness. It's up out of the way, out of sight, and when we turn on the ignition, there it is.
It's still science.
So it comes on automatically, and it will go off with the ignition. So there you have it. So now we're all ready, it's done. I think this was the easiest detector I've ever installed. I've done many of them. I didn't have to go back to the fuse box. I didn't have to remove any body panels. The clip is right there at the back of the mirror. It was easy to access, only 7 wires. And after asking on the forum, narrowed it down to 3 wires. The voltmeter, I would always suggest check it with a voltmeter. Made it verified the wiring. If you have to go into a body panel, they also include a small pin adapter set for the wiring, so that it can go into the smaller connectors. I have needed that in other vehicles. The radar mount is nice and snug. It's up there right close to the mirror, so it's out of your way. It's not on the mirror, on the windshield, on the dash, you know, so you're not fumbling with it right in front of you. So there you have it. About as easy as you can get it on this vehicle, and it's not much more difficult if you have to go into the overhead, which would have been where the lights are, but there you go. I love these mirror mounts. I love these, they're made by Radar Mount, and I love these connectors that just go into the back of the sockets. It doesn't get easier than this. I've done some where I've had to actually strip wires and solder to get them into the splicing. So if you try it, this is real simple. It took me an hour with the filming. So if you're careful, take your time, it should be a snap. Also, I did use a little Loctite on a couple of the screws. You know, the one around the mount where it actually clamps the mirror, and where it mounts the radar detector bracket. I did not do them on the knobs for tightening down the detector. I may do that later on. So good luck. Hope you enjoyed. And a couple of quick stills of the mirror mount closer up. There are 2 adjustment screws on it that let you pivot this thing in virtually any direction you want. It's completely adjustable. Tighten it down, it snugs up nicely, and as you can see, it is a very nice mount to get the radar detector out of your way. And there you have it, a quick and easy install, nice and neat. Radar detector's up out of the way.